that's allowed us to return once again. Hoping and praying that those that have not arrived at the Most High will cause their here safely. And those that can't make it out today, that the Most High be with them wherever they're at, observing this day. This time I'll ask everyone to please open up your prayer books to the Psalm Zed HaShabbat, the song for the beginning of the Shabbat day. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Zed HaShabbat. Hallelujah. Great and glorious King, we come before thee, O Yehovah, our God, on this holy Shabbat day. We ask Yehovah that thou continue to be with us, guide and protect us, that thou will watch over thy people, Yisrael, wherever we might be scattered in the four corners of the earth. We ask Yehovah that thou continue to bless us, that thou continue to put upon us the spirit of righteousness, that thou look over thy people, Yisrael, wherever we might be. Yehovah, we ask that thou continuously bless this house, even this house of Beit Ha'akat Ma'ubina. We ask Yehovah that thou continue to watch over the leadership, the brothers and sisters, the Yeladim, oh Yah, that thou look over and watch over us and Yah, and even protect us. We ask Yehovah that thou continue to be with the elders and the leadership, oh Yah. We ask Yehovah that thou be with our brother, even Prince Yediel Ben Yissaschar, who's on the journey at this time. We ask Yah that thou bring him back safely to his household. As thou took him there safely, Yah, we ask that thou return him back safely. We ask Yehovah that thou be with his family, with his wife, even Princess Shekinah, that thou be with his Yeladim, that thou guide and protect them and keep them. I ask Yehovah with a special prayer that thou be even with an elder in the midst of us, Chief Koha, that thou protect them, guide them, keep them, that thou even bring them strength, even on any pains that he might have. Yehovah, please strengthen him. Strengthen his wife, Princess Hannah. Protect and guide and relieve of any pain that she might have. And cause them, oh Yah, to even have joy, oh Yah, even in these their latter years, oh Yah. Protect them and guide them. And I ask Yehovah that thou continue to be with their family and their household. I ask Yah that thou be even with Chief O'Connor, that thou protect them, give them the strength to even protect God's people. I ask that thou continue to be with his wife, even Princess Adara, that thou might heal of any maladies that she might have, that thou might strengthen her, protect her, and keep her safe. I ask Yehovah that thou continue to be with their children and their family and their household, continue to bless them and keep them. I ask y'all that I'll continue to be with Kobe Israel, wherever we might be, scattered in the four corners of the earth. Be with all of my elders. Continue to be with Ema Muna. Strengthen her and heal her. Continue to be with Ema Sarah. Strengthen her and heal her. Continue to be with Ema Yakolia. Strengthen her and heal her, y'all. I ask your whole that I even be with all of our mothers, with all of our elders. Protect them and guide them. Be with Ema Yakolia. Be with our brothers and sisters online who continue to be with us, who continue to support us and continue to give us an ear. We ask your whole that I will bless them, that I will bless them with the understanding of truth, with the true knowledge of thee. I ask y'all that I continue to be with all those who are incarcerated, be with our brothers and sisters, especially those who are incarcerated unjustly. Hear their cries, hear their supplications, hear their prayers, oh Yah, and even though Yah forgive them of whatever iniquities they might have committed before thee. For we know that thou art a pardon of the nation of Israel, and that thou forgivest sin to all from all thy people. So we ask Yah that I will hear their cries and their supplications and continue to bless them. Be with those who are on their way here, cause them to get here safely, with no harm done unto them, oh Yah. Continue to be with those, oh Yah, who are downtrodden, the poor, the needy, the destitute, oh Yah, the fatherless. Hear their cries, oh Yah, hear their supplications, and even enlighten them to knowledge of self, and make them understand that thou art God and God alone. And besides you, there is no Savior. Besides you, there is no Creator. We ask you, Lord, that I continue to be with all of our elders, all of the congregations throughout the world, and call upon thee and thee alone. We ask you, Lord, to be with those congregations that even know that they're Israel, but don't know that you are God alone. Open their eyes, oh Yah. Open their minds to understand that you are God alone. I acknowledge, oh Yahweh, that thou art the God of the universe. And besides you, there is no other. Continue to be with all of our elders, oh Yah. Be with Corn Mikael. Be with Prince Rishna. Be with all of our teachers. Please bless the memory of Rabbi Matthew. Bless the memory of Rabbi Yirmiyahu. Bless the memory of Yad Nasi Yaakov. Bless the memory of Cohen Levy. Bless the memory of men like Chief Simeon and Chief Amos. I ask you, Lord, that I continue to be with them and bless them. With a special prayer, y'all, I ask you to continue to be, even with our brother, even Captain Junior, that I will heal him and strengthen him, be with his family, be with his household. Your Lord, please bless him and guide him and protect him. I ask you, Lord, that I continue to be with all of our brothers and sisters who need help. Please continue to be with our young brother, Ella. Guide him, oh Yah, protect him, strengthen him, and heal him. I ask you, Lord, that I continue to even be with our daughter, Nasika, that I will bless her, protect her, oh Yah, even cause her to acknowledge that thou art God and God alone, and make her understand, oh Yah, there's no way but thy way. I ask you, Lord, with a special prayer that I be with my young lady, that I protect them and guide them, and be with those, oh Yah, who might not be as strong. Oh Yah, strengthen them and protect them and guide them. We thank you, oh Yahweh, that I even have returned our young brother, even our brother Jeremiah, oh Yah. Strengthen him, protect him, oh Yah, and cause him to understand, oh Yah, that thou art God and God alone, and besides you there is no other, and to take care of yourself. I ask you, Lord, that I continue to be with all of our people, wherever we might be scattered in the four corners of the earth, here and abroad. Hear the supplications of thy people, and even grant us permission, even in these delays of our captivity. We thank you for all things and everything. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. Oh Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Elohim, Yahovah Elohim, Yahovah Elohim, oh Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Elohim, Elohim, Yahovah Elohim. Oh, Hallelujah. We will proceed with the songs that are set aside for the beginning of the Shabbat day. The first being the 92nd song, found in our Siduri. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Jehovah and to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and our faithfulness every night. Upon the instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Jehovah, has made me glad through thy work. I'll triumph in the works of thy hands. O Jehovah, how great thy works and thy thoughts of every deed. O bruise man, I need the buffoon understand this. When the wicked spring up as grass, the works of iniquity do flourish. And as thy gates shall be destroyed forever. For thou, Jehovah, most high forevermore. For Lord, thy enemies shall Jehovah, for Lord, thy enemies shall perish. All the works of iniquity shall be scattered. For my horns are thy joy like the horns of wild ox. I am anointed with fresh oil. My eye also has seen the desire of my enemies, and my ears have heard the desire of the wicked arising against me. The righteous are flourished like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Jehovah shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that Jehovah is upright. He's our rock, and there is no righteousness in him. Hallelujah. The 125th Psalm. Psalm 125. Hallelujah. They that trust in Jehovah shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed but about itself. As the mountains round about Jerusalem, so Jehovah round about his people, from the henceforth and forever. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the line of the righteous, lest the righteous forth their hands with iniquity. Do good on Jehovah's those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. As the sun shall shine to the wicked ways, Jehovah shall lead them forth from the works of iniquity. But peace shall be upon Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We go into the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, starting from verse 4. Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad. Hear, O Israel, Yehovah God, Yehovah is one. And thou shalt love Yehovah thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words I command thee this day shall be upon thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. And shalt talk with them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind the fourth sign upon thy hand, and they shall be reflected between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates. And it shall be when Jehovah thy God shall have brought thee into the land, which he swore unto our fathers, thou thy teach thy to the output, to give thee great and goodly cities thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things thou buildest not. Wells dig beside thee beside. blessing our trees and our plants now. Without your name before. Let me let us not forget your home. Who brought before we were made of Egypt? Out of the house of bondage. I shall pay your whole life, God is strength. Let's not strength by his name. Peace and not corrupt the God of the gods and the people that are around about you. For your whole life, God is given us all amongst you. Let's think of your whole life, God be given against you. And he destroyed it on the face of the earth. Hallelujah. Therefore, we honor and extol the God of our fathers. For restoring us back to our heritage, even here in the land of our captivity. We thank thee and praise you with all our might. And we say, blessed is the name of your whole our God forevermore. Amen. Let us sing the Shema. Shema, 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 Shema. And your host spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily ye shall keep my Shabbat, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Jehovah who sanctify you. You shall keep the Shabbat therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that profaneth it shall surely be put to death. Whosoever do any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his equal. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day shall no solemn rest. Holy to your home. Whosoever doeth any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. The heaven and the earth will finish, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day Yah finished his work which he had made. And Yah blessed the 7th day and hallowed it, because that in it he rested from all his work, which God in creating had made. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Repeat after me. If thou turn away thy foot because of the Shabbat. If thou turn away thy foot because of the Shabbat. From pursuing thy business on my holy day. From pursuing thy business on my holy day. And call the Shabbat a delight. And call the Shabbat a delight. And the holy of Yehovah honorable. And the holy of Yehovah honorable. And shall honor it. And shall honor it. Not doing thy wanted ways. Not doing thy wanted ways. Nor pursuing thy business. Nor pursuing thy business. Nor speaking thereof. Nor speaking thereof. Then should thou delight thyself in Yehovah. Then shalt thou delight thyself in Yehovah. And I'll make thee to ride upon the high places of the earth. And I'll make thee to ride upon the high places of the earth. And I'll feed thee with the heritage of Yaakov thy father. And I'll feed thee with the heritage of Yaakov thy father. For the mouth of Yehovah has spoken. For the mouth of Yehovah has spoken. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. With love for thee, O Yehovah our God. We have entered thy great house to welcome the Shabbat day, which invites us to enjoy the blessings of rest and peace. Thou art near to us in this place, and wherever we call upon thee, thou will come to us and bless us. On this Shabbat day, we look back upon this past week and reflect earnestly upon the way we have used the fleeting moments. Be with us in the coming week that we may be faithful to all our duties. Make us glad that there is so much joy in this house. May we ever be eager to spread around the light of happiness, of love and goodwill. May this day bring peace to our hearts and joy to our souls. Hallelujah. Let us sing the Shema, 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 Shema. The Lord Jehovah our God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, and that by no means cleanse the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth generation. Therefore we serve only you, Jehovah, because your glory endures forever. We will love you and serve you, and show reverence unto thy most holy name. Who's that come to the King of glory? Hey. Who's that come to our God who fights the battles of his people, Yisrael? Hey. He who smites nations for us and subdues our enemies before our eyes. Therefore we honor and praise his holy name. Shout with joy, all ye holy ones to the Most High. For our King will deliver us and we keep his laws and commandments. For our King will save us and we serve him with all our souls. For our King will deliver us and we do all that he commanded Moshe. For our King will save us and we praise him with all our might. For our King is the God of glory. Jehovah Sabaoth is his name. So make a joyful noise, O chief men, and sing aloud, ye princes of Israel. Let the daughters of Zion sing with joy. Let all the hosts of Israel clap their hands. For the King of glory is here. From everlasting even unto everlasting. Thou art God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. people singing. What? Blessed be the mighty King, your host of all. You may be seated. We thank this mighty King. We thank this mighty King for life, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm grateful to this great King for my life, the life of my family, the life of my yellow dean. I thank the Most High God that He'll continue to bless us and protect us, that He'll continue to be with us all and guide our steps, that even through these times where the children of Israel are going through a lot, that the Most High God will look, watch, and protect us. And when I'm talking about the children of Israel, I'm not just talking about here in the United States. The children of Israel were not just sent to the United States of America.
That's right.
We were scattered to the four corners of the earth. We were sent down to South America. More of us went to South America than any place else. They said Brazil has the largest population of African slaves, then the second most, second to Africa. 50% of the people in Brazil is of Israelite descent. Is a people that's a blessed people by God. The Most High God also said that because we didn't do the things that we were supposed to do, that he would eject us from the land. He said he will vomit us out of the land of Israel because we didn't allow the land to keep its chateau. Am I right or wrong? So, because we didn't allow the land to keep its chateau, the Most High God got rid of us, and now another people is in the land putting on the coat of Israel and claiming to be the nation of Israel. But that's our fault. We have to acknowledge that this king is the one who woke us up this morning. We have to acknowledge that this king is the one who provided food for us. We got to acknowledge that this king is the one that when we go to the doctor tell you, hey, you need to go see a nutritionist because you got too much weight on you. In captivity. A people that's enslaved don't get to eat that much. He's the one that blesses us even in captivity. That's the king that we acknowledge. Even with everything that's happening, no matter what's the overseer that we have, whether it's number 45, whether in Brazil they got a guy that you think 45 is bad, in Brazil they got a guy named Bolsonaro. He said the best thug is a dead thug. He said if a cop hasn't killed somebody, he ain't doing his job. That's what he said. And you know who he's aiming that to? All the brothers and sisters who live in those favelas. If you don't know what the favela is, that's the hood. That's what we call the projects. The ghettos, what they call the ghettos. So you think we got it bad? Think about our brothers and sisters down in South America. It doesn't matter where we come from. The Most High God looked at us and he deemed us his peculiar treasure. Do you know that? Do you know what a peculiar treasure is? Something that you cherish, something that you put up, something that you protect. That's a peculiar treasure. You know how you say that in Hebrew? Segula, right? A precious people, a treasured people. The Most High God made us that. We are that people, but we have to know this. We can't believe it because if we believe it, then there's some doubt in it. We have to understand that we are God's special people. Not that anybody else is God's special people, that we are his special people. Even with us in our down, low, and dirty state, the Most High God still looked at us as his Segula. His special, his peculiar treasure. That's what God looks at us as. Even in our nasty, that's who we are. That's who we are. We're God's peculiar treasure. Don't never let anyone tell you any less. We are that people. We are the hallelujah people. We're the people that he put his spirit upon. We're the people that he promised Abraham, right? He told Abraham, he said, out of you, he said, your name should no more be called Avram, but your name shall be Abraham. He said, no more should you be exalted father. He said, now you're going to become a father of many. And Abraham, at that point, only had Ishmael. Abraham said, may Ishmael live before you, father. He said, no. He said, your wife, said Sarah, she's going to bear children. She's going to bear a child. And through that seed is how you're going to gain your glory. And from Abraham and Sarah came Isaac, and then came Yaakov, and came the 12 tribes of Israel with 12 different personalities. So coming back, we got different personalities. It don't matter where you come from. You could come from the Caribbean islands, you could come from Central America, South America, from North America. We all come different, but guess what? We all God's people. We all the peculiar treasure that God was speaking about. He put that upon us. But you have to know that. You can't believe that. You have to know that. Through our ups and downs, God is the one who releases us from any problems that we have. But we have to know that. We can't believe that. Because if you go before God doubting him, then it's not counting to you for righteousness like it was counted for Abraham. Abraham believed at 99 that he was going to be a father again from his 90-year-old wife. That wasn't belief, that was knowledge. He said Abraham walked wholeheartedly before him. Perfect. He had no doubt in God, so we can't have doubt in the Creator. We have to know what we're talking about. We have to understand who he is. And we have to walk in that truth and in that knowledge. We are soldiers for the Most High God. We're soldiers. We walk this, we talk this, we live this. That's what we're supposed to be. The song that we sing and the message that we bring, that's what we're supposed to be. We stumble along the way, but that's what we're supposed to be. When you're out in the street, you're not supposed to be anything less than an Israelite. When people look at you, they can look at you and see that you are that peculiar treasure. I'm going to keep harping on that word. Because that's who we are. We are a Jew, but we don't see it. You don't believe we're a Jew? Every music, if America didn't have us in here, this would be a dull place. Look at the places where we're not in, and they just look at them. That's right. Look at Russia. It's a great place. Any place that we're at, any place that the children of Israel is in, we liven it up. You go in the Caribbean, they play soca. Jump up, wave your flag, people waving their flag. It's everybody, it's infectious. Be like, I'm not, you be at a party like, I'm not doing no jump up. And after a while, you be like this. I'm not doing no jump up music. I always said, I'm not doing no jump up music. And then next thing you know, we're picking up people in the club and passing them around and doing all types of stuff. It's infectious. I'm not listening to no hip hop. And you stand there, and I came in the door. I said it before. You like, oh, that sound good. Well, Mary come on. Let's get it crunky. And you start doing the Mary. We are people of rhythm. It don't matter. We God's people. And now what's happening is that we are reconnecting and we are understanding that we are God's people. And unity, there's strength. Peculiar treasure. That's who we are. Never forget that. Never forget the lessons that your mother and your father have given you. That's what strengthens us. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us strong. We have to understand who we are. It says here, and I'm just going to go to it briefly before I call up the young man that's scheduled for this morning. Yah's special possession, a peculiar treasure. Exodus 19 verse 5 reads. You want to go to it? Now, these are lessons that will reinforce what we are and who we are. You have to know this. Let us go.
Exodus chapter 19 verse 5. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now therefore, if ye will hearken unto my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be mine own treasure from among all the peoples, for all the earth is mine.
You hear that? Yeah. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant. Yes. What is God's covenant with us? I repeat this over and over, so y'all should know this. What's God's covenant with us? Huh? That he will be our God and we'll be what? That's the covenant he made with Abraham. What's the token of that covenant? The circumcision, right? Said on the day all male child should be what? Circumcised. So that is a command of the Most High God. So if you're not circumcised, you're not in this covenant. You're not in that agreement, and you're found wanting. So if you're a grown man and you never got circumcised, guess what? You got to get circumcised. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, because if you say you're a true servant of God, that's what you have to do. But today in the hospitals, they telling you that that's mutilation. They don't want to circumcise the babies anymore. So we have to begin to get all these people that are able to circumcise and pass it down, because before you know it, just like the immunization, they're going to shut that down. You think it's not getting real? I told y'all it's going to get worse before it get better. What you think it is? You think it's a joke? We in captivity. What you think it is? You think it's going to just be la-di-da and that's it? Look at the turmoil that we had to go through in Egypt before we got out of there. You keep following the ways of the people and see where you end up. God is going to exact everybody for everything that they do, starting from me all the way down. He's going to exact everything, because God don't let anything go. He doesn't let anything go. He coming. It says here, if you will obey my voice. How do you obey his voice? By the instructions that he left on earth here for us to do. And keep my covenant. Then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. But when we do not obey his voice, we are the bottom of the earth. We're the tail and not the head. But we got to obey his voice. You obey his voice by keeping his commandments, not by doing what you want to do. Deuteronomy 14 verse 2. We're going to harp on this peculiar. That's segula. I'm segula. A special people. A peculiar treasure. A peculiar people. That's who we are. But you have to know that that's what you are. When you walk in the street, you got to walk hot with your heads high, knowing what you are, that you're special. Don't let nobody talk down to you. Don't let nobody question you about your way of life. Somebody asks you, why you wearing those? Why are you not wearing them? Why you wearing them fringes? Why are you not wearing them? That's how you flip that. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? When people start asking you questions, why you not wearing them? Why you don't do this? Why don't you do that? Why do you go to that place every Saturday? Why don't you? Do you understand that the seventh day is Saturday? And that's the day that the Most High God set for us to keep holy? Not the Sunday, the first day of the week? Let us go, my brother.
We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, beginning in verse 1. Ye are the children of Jehovah your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make boldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art a holy people unto Jehovah thy God.
We are a holy people before God. He said, don't cut what? Your flesh? What is it?
Don't cut yourselves, nor make boldness between your
Don't
eyes
make
for the
boldness
dead.
between your eyes for the dead. Keep going.
For thou art a holy people unto Jehovah thy God.
And
Jehovah has chosen thee to be his own treasure.
We was going into Canaan land, and them tribes down there was putting tribal marks on their faces. God said, what you saw in Egypt, don't do, and what you're going into that land that you're going to possess, don't do that either. He says, so don't make no markings on your flesh for the dead. Today we voluntarily do everything because we are mesmerized by what the world has to show. The Most High God told us not to put imprint on our flesh. And guess what's the first thing we go do? We get a tattoo. You put on you tattoo a girl's name because you fell so in love and you think you're going to be with her for the rest of your life. So you put her name on your chest. You a darn fool. You fall in love with this guy, you tattoo his name on your thigh. Because you think you're going to be there forever. That's going to be his forever. And then you get mad. Or he get mad and abandon you. And now you got Raheem's name tattooed. But God told us not to do it. God told us not to do it. I'm not talking about because some people get offended when you talk like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you that didn't know and understand this. You went and got a tattoo and then you came to knowledge of yourself. You know, I'm talking about the people who are born in this way of life that understand the difference between right and wrong and go do wrong. I can't be talking about you that already been out in the street and was in the struggle. Because you was in the struggle. You came here for a better life. So I'm not talking about you. So don't get offended. But you know what? The truth hurts sometimes. The truth hurts so much that sometimes I throw stones at myself. I got to look at myself because I'm not perfect. So when I speak, I cut myself too. Come on now. But I can't get up here and tell you sweet things. I can't do that. I have to tell you the truth. So that God won't judge me for being one of those shepherds that say sweet things and lead the people astray. I have to tell you the truth. Go ahead, my brother.
And Yahweh has chosen thee to be his own treasure out of all the peoples that are upon the face of the earth.
For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God, and Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations upon the earth. Above all. Every form of music that this country and the world has seen, it came from us. Most everyone that's popular.
Oh yeah.
Rock and roll, black people. You might not believe it, but do your research.
Oh yeah.
The blues, black people. R&B, they got mad. The parents used to get mad because they said, how you taking the church music and you making it just regular secular music? You think all them songs, I know you want to, that come from church, spirituality. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg and plead for your sympathy, I don't mind because you mean that much. Ain't too proud to beg. Right? That didn't come from adult people. That came with the people with spirit. That didn't come with adult people. Hallelujah, because we used to shout in church. We used to jump up and down. We used to roll down the aisle. Say, what you learned today, Brother Smith? I ain't learned much, but I sure feel good. Came from us. God gave us that spirit. We took it to a false God. But the Most High God had to check us for that. But we the people with the spirit. We're the ones who gave this country life. Amen. Yeah. Salsa, all that. All salsa is a fusion of jazz and Afro-Cuban. Brothers came from Cuba with the congas. Louis Armstrong and them guys listen to that stuff. Like, man, that stuff is slamming. Let's mix it in with some horns. Let me put some horns in it. And that's all salsa is. Salsa just means sauce. That's all salsa in English means sauce. That means they took all the ingredients and put them together. God's people. Peculiar what? A peculiar what? Peculiar treasure. You have to know it. You can't believe it. If you don't know it, then you have doubt. You have to know it. Deuteronomy 26:18.
And Yahweh has avouched thee this day to be his own treasure.
He has sworn that this day you shall be his treasure. A treasure is something that you revere, that you put up, that you keep safe. That's what the Most High God looks at us as when we are in our right state of mind. Let us go.
As he has promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments.
That thou shouldest keep what?
All his commandments.
All his commandments. Now we know in captivity we can't keep all his commandments, but we could darn well do the ones that we can.
That's right. That's right.
Stop half-stepping.
That's right.
Some of you might not play drums. I get it.
Okay.
That might not be your cup of tea. But we need some soldiers. How about that?
Yeah.
You might be a soldier. You might be some guy you might be a tough guy. But guess what? We need that too.
Yeah.
We need people that's going to protect. You give your strength to a gang, you out there. Get that to Israel. Give it to Israel. When you fall in the clinch, them Negroes don't come and help you. Guess who's in there with you? Your family. Your family's the one that got to go through them 20 years with you. Your mama's the one crying, making 3-hour trips and 4-hour trips, 5-hour trips, and if they put you all the way up there, almost in Canada, you're talking about 8 hours. Your mama there every week with a package. Not them Negroes on the block. Talk to me. God needs some soldiers. Give that strength to the Lord. He said, give your strength to the Lord in your youth before the days, the evil days come upon you, before sickness befalls on you. So why will you give your strength, right? That's why the army recruits, that's what the armed forces is for, right? The good, the proud, the Marine, right? That's the advertising. They want you young, right? Because when you young, you don't think much, you just do. But here we're going to teach you to think before you do. But give your strength to God, because we soldiers too. We just don't play drums and just sing. David did that, but when it was time to get busy, what David did? He strapped up that sword, right? Who was it that didn't want to give him the bread and all that stuff? Nabal. He said, what? He said, that wicked sucker. He said, I've been protecting all his herdsmen and everybody out here. He said, everybody strap up. He said, we're going to kill everything that pisses up on the wall. I mean, every male got to go. Abigail got to come and oh Lord. Please don't do this evil that you're about ready. It would have been an evil. But it shows that we are people of power and strength. We're people of power and strength, man. You're not no punks. But don't give all that to them streets. Give it to Yah. Give it to the nation, because we're not a gang. Let us go.
19. And to make thee high above all the nations that he hath made, in praise and in name and in glory, that thou mayest be a holy people unto Jehovah thy God.
A holy people, man. We separate. We are distinguished from anybody else. A peculiar treasure. You have to know it. You cannot believe it.
That's right.
You have to know this. Psalms 135, verse 4. Don't worry, Heath. I'm wrapping up. I'm coming to you right now. Let us go.
Praise you, Jehovah, for he is good. Sing praises unto his name, for it is pleasant. For Jehovah has chosen Yaakov unto himself.
Unto himself.
And
he chose us unto himself. He didn't say that about any other people. He only said that about us. Yaakov. Let's go. Us in Bed-Stuy, East New York, Brownsville, Coney Island, South Central Los Angeles, Mechanicsville, Georgia, South Philly, wherever God's people is at, the south side of Chicago, the north side of Chicago, wherever we at, that's where Georgetown, Guyana.
That's right.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti. We like to separate the Haitian. But our Haitian brothers and sisters was the first ones that stood up against this tyranny and said, "The heck with this." So we would rather die fighting than to live under this oppression. It's their next door neighbors that think that they European. When they look as dark as me and you. But that's just a lack of knowledge.
That's all.
A lack of understanding.
That's it. That's it.
Because there ain't no way in heck you Dominican and you think you white. You European. You better get your behind. You look at David Ortiz, the guy who just got shot. He don't look like no European to me. Look at Sammy Sosa. He still don't look like a European, although he bleached his skin. We God's peculiar treasure.
Oh, yeah.
That we God's peculiar treasure the way He made us. The way He made us, we was beautiful. Nobody like us. Nobody like our sisters. Nobody like our brothers. Why you think they rushing to get you now? Why you think you see so many interracial stuff going on right now? Why you think they rushing to get you now? They got to get in that gene pool.
Oh, yeah. There you go. The gene pool.
No one is as beautiful as our sisters. Sometimes I stand there and I go and you see, I'm like, what do they see that's beautiful about them?
Nothing.
You can't replace Coca-Cola bottle shape.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
You can't give, come on man, I don't care how many squats you do in the gym. I don't care what, you gotta go get stuff put in that backside. Because you ain't naturally like that.
No, you don't live like that.
I can tell when it's natural. Grew up around them but black women. Seen black women all my life.
Thank you.
They don't come pasteurized, homogenized. They don't come to the side, they come just the way God built them, even the skinny ones. Skinny ones got something going on, boy. She look good, she's skinny, but she God made us this peculiar treasure. When it spoke about Hadassah, it said, what did it specify? It said she was of goodly shape. You know I ain't talking about them. It said she was of goodly shape. Come on, man. That's God's people. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessed be your High King. I thank the Most High King of the universe. And I pray that the Most High God will continue to be with us, guide and protect us. With that, I'm going to call up the young man who set aside to do the Haftarah portion for today, even our brother, Hivziria, Bain, Chief Mekubadia, Bain Levy, Bain Ismail. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all due respect to your Lord. Second, I want to pray that bless the memory of my grandfather, Colonel Levy.
Hallelujah.
Tell you both for my grandmothers, my Abba, my Ina, my mothers. The Mount portion will be found in the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 1 through 24.
We're in the book of Yehoshua, which is Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Yehoshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 spies secretly, saying, go and view the land of Jericho. And they went and came into the house of a harlot whose name was Rahab, and lay there.
So this is the connection to the portion, because in the say there Shalach, Moses sent out 12 spies the first time, but Joshua says it's sending out 2 spies, just like how Moses did.
2. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the land. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, that are entered into thy house, for they are come to search out all the land. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and she said, Yea, the men came unto me, but I knew not whence they were. And it came to pass, about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I know not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them.
This shows how Rahab, so the king comes to Rahab asking where the spies were, and Rahab lies to the king saying that she saw the spies, but they left. So she's telling the king that she has to go find the spies.
6. But she had brought them up to the roof and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had spread out upon the roof.
Rahab knew where the spies were. She just lied to the king. She saved the spies' life.
And the men pursued after them the way to the Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they that pursued after them were gone out, the gate was shut. And before they were laid down, she came up upon them unto the roof. And she said unto the men, I know that Jehovah has given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away before you. For we have heard how Jehovah dried up the water of the Red Sea before you, when ye came forth out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were beyond the Jordan, unto Sihon and to Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard it, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more spirit in any man because of you. For Jehovah your God, he is God in the heaven above and on the earth beneath.
So Rahab heard of the Israelites in the Most High's wonders. They knew about how they fought the battles of Sihon and Og, the king of Bashan. And Rahab was scared for her life, and she wanted to save her family, and she knew that the Israelites were coming to Jericho, and she knew the trouble that was coming.
12. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by Jehovah, since I have dealt kindly with you, that ye will also deal kindly with my father's house, and give me a true token, and save alive my father and my mother, and my brethren, and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death.
Rahab is trying to save her family, so nothing in life is free. Nothing. So even though she's doing a good deed, she is also looking for something out of it, which is to save her family. And there's a price for what she's doing.
14. And the men said unto her, If ye tell not this our business, and it shall be when Jehovah giveth us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the side of the wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, Get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers light upon you, and hide yourselves there 3 days until the pursuers be returned, and afterward ye may go your way. And the men said unto her, We will be guiltless of this thine oath which thou hast made us to swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by, and thou shalt gather unto thee into the house thy father, and thy mother, and thy brethren, and all thy father's household. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of this house into the street, his blood shall be upon his own head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be upon our head, if we lay any hand upon him. But if thou utter this our business, then we will be guiltless of thine oath which thou hast made us to swear. And she said, According unto thy words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed, and she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came into the mountains and abode there 3 days, till the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not.
So even though Rahab was a harlot, the Most High knew her heart and still trying to save her. Can we go to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 19?
We're in the book of Jeremiah. We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 19. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Verse 9. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The heart is deceitful above all things and is exceeding weak. Who can know it? I, Yahweh, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings.
So Rahab was a harlot, but still Jehovah knew her heart, and he used her to save, to do this task and to save her family.
Returning to the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 23. Then the two men returned and descended from the mountain and passed over and came to Yehoshua the son of Nun. And they told him all that had befallen them. And they said unto Yehoshua, truly Yahweh has delivered into our hands all this land, and moreover, all the inhabitants of the land do melt away before us. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In the portion, Moses sent 12 spies, and 10 of them came back with bad reports, and 2 of them came back with good reports, which was Joshua and Caleb. Which by this time, Joshua only sent 2 spies, so that because last time it wasn't smart to send 12 spies. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to say tell Yehovah for letting me graduate this year. I also finished my album, my first album this year, which was very exciting.
My brother Itamar's in the building. That's you over there? Let me take my glasses off to make sure I'm seeing you.
I know I seen purple. I know I seen purple.
Bless him, hallelujah. Good to see my brother Moray Itamar in the building, and we'll hear from him later. At this time, I'll call up the speaker for the day, even my brother, Chief Naphtali Ben Don. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Bless him.
May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my mind be acceptable before you, O Yah, my rock and my redeemer. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom. How's everybody doing today?
So,
Hallelujah. The Most High God is good. All the time, my sister. How you doing today? Hallelujah. I thank him for my life. I thank him for your life. I thank him for the life of your loved ones. Because everybody doesn't do this, Lord, that we love. But we have to pray for the Most High God's mercy. We have to pray for the Most High God's mercy upon our souls and those who are around us, our friends, our family members. The Most High God is revealing his hand day by day. So to be up under his power, his love, is not a light thing. You know, we call ourselves children of the covenant. Covenant being that there's an agreement between us and Yah. And, you know, the Shabbat day allows us to do a lot concerning our reflection and introspecting concerning ourselves and our covenant with Yah. You know, when you do an audit of yourself, and you begin to see those things that you look at others on or down on others about, how much of those things do you practice yourself? How much of those bad habits that you condemn others for are you guilty of? And God will show you and have mercy upon you so you can make change within yourself. You know, this week, Senator Mitch McConnell was asked about reparations. And does he feel that Black America should get reparations? And he gave the old cracker textbook answer, no, right? Textbook answer, I've been hearing that for years. I'm not responsible, or we are not responsible for what happened 153 years ago, or what our ancestors did 153 years ago. And, you know, he talked about the curse of slavery and, or the blight of slavery, or the sin of slavery that America is guilty of. But there's this thing with white America that they believe that they don't have to take accountability for what their ancestors have done. And I'm not even asking you to take accountability for what your ancestors have done. But what about what you're doing now? What about the sin and the struggle and the pain that you're causing people right now? I didn't write the Constitution. You didn't write the Constitution, but you still live by it, right? You still uphold it. You still believe in it. And you ain't throwing it away anytime soon. But now, when it comes to the plight of the black man, it seems to be something as a, I'm going to wash my hands, it's no longer my fault. This is a new day. This is a day where black intellectuals can speak to the atrocities of what happened to us as a people without blaming anybody or without that whole reverse racism issue. Because you know what happened? They had this thing called white guilt. And they didn't want to have white people walking around being sad for the atrocities that they committed towards black people. So they created this term called reverse racism. Know what reverse racism is? That means that I'm going to start blaming you, right, for the things that you condemn me for, that I committed, the atrocities, the insults, the pains that I committed towards your people. I'm going to start proclaiming a sense of innocence about all the stuff you did to me. All of the things that you blame me for. The reason why reverse racism can never work, and the intellectual can come to you and tell you that it doesn't work, is because we have no power to reverse and create the crimes that you did on us to you. We can't mass incarcerate you. We can't shoot you down in the street, and we've never done that to you. We shoot each other down in the street. We can't discriminate against you going to college. We can't discriminate against you getting a job. We can't do those things. We have no power in our hand to do such, but you did, and you still do have that power today. You have the power to undermine our ability to feed our families. We never had that power with you. So there is no reverse racism. I like to just, if he hears it, I don't know, but the brother Ta-Nehisi Coates, who went before the Senate and gave a powerful rebut to what was said. And I thank God for people who are not just school educated, but are educated enough to know how to answer fools when they speak.
Yes, amen.
So what he said was, based on the history of what happened in this country, the fact that all of these things were done, the fact that, you know, there was redlining, the fact that we allowed the ripple effects of slavery to continue well beyond Juneteenth, 1865, and all the other times that we were supposed to be free, the fact that our rights weren't protected, the fact that we are still mostly mass incarcerated. This country has more people in jail than any place in the world, and 40% of the people in prison are black. We only make up 13% of this country. So that's a disproportionate amount of people who are incarcerated based on fire laws, weed, drugs. We're not in jail. The mass amount of us are not in jail for rape and killing and things of that nature. We're in jail for petty crimes. The fact that our education system was undermined. The fact that when our fathers who fought for this country, every single one that they ever had to come home with less pay, not get the same type of housing that the white counterparts have gotten, the white veterans have gotten, and have to struggle, even though we served this country and gave our lives up to protect this country and keep it safe. And he mentioned a few things, and I just want to go through a little line of some of the things that have happened to us throughout these years. Terrorism. The federal government did not protect the lives of black people concerning the riots, the Ku Klux Klan, or any other atrocities that white people felt to commit against us at any given time for any given reason. Land appropriation. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, guilty of chasing blacks off land that they paid for themselves and auctioning it off when the people didn't come back to reclaim the land that they got chased off of due to violence and fears of threats of death, of your family's going to get killed, etc., etc. Destruction of property. Rosewood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, when your property gets destroyed, usually you have companies in the federal government who come and compensate you for your loss. We don't get compensated for our loss, even though we're not responsible for what happened. Destruction of life. 100 years of lynching will have you understand that clearly there were people who never got due process that were hung up on trees. There were women that were hung up on trees and their children were hung up on trees because they may have supported somebody who they felt was wrong. Convict leasing. Convict leasing where black codes allowed a regular white citizen to go grab anybody that they saw that was outside of curfew or was going on the wrong road and not doing something they were supposed to do or didn't get in their house before sundown. In that convict leasing, number one, they got snatched and they were able to appropriate anything that they had on them. So if they had money or anything on them, they were able to take that. And what would happen was when they go to jail, they get bail. They have the option to get bail. Because they can't afford bail, someone goes and says, well, I'll pay their bail, but they automatically become a servant to that person that pays their bail. This was a reinvention of slavery. Redlining and housing discrimination. So, Ta-Nehisi Coates actually did a study on the redlining that happened in places like Chicago, in Jersey, everywhere else in America, where people were actually told, no, you can't get a loan to live here, you got to get a loan to live here. What you see in the modern suburb is the creation of a white neighborhood that excluded black people. I have elders that told me that Bed-Stuy was a German neighborhood, right? But black people started to move and they couldn't go to Fulton Street. That wasn't where black people were able to be. Where Restoration and all that stuff was white. Couldn't walk up there, right? Black people lived further down in the outskirts, and most of the houses they had, they rented. But when black people started to get these houses, they started to create atmospheres where, no, you have to get this money and you have the option to move to places like Levittown, Long Island, and other places where there were white neighborhoods they were trying to form. And if you were black and tried to get those neighborhoods, they would actually deny you the loan. Redlining will also create atmospheres where you would live in the worst neighborhood and pay twice as much for your house than anywhere else. Loan discrimination. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida. The Tuskegee experiments. Voting discrimination. Unequal distribution of federal funds to black schools. Unequal pay for black veterans. Unequal GI Bill for black veterans. Destruction and disenfranchisement of black businesses. Disappropriate sentencing for minor crimes. Employment discrimination. Disappropriate amount of infusion of drugs into the black communities, the CIA crack epidemic, COINTELPRO, creation of an unbalanced system of racial wealth, and the gap where now, the racial wealth gap now is where white people have 30% more wealth than the average black person in America. So with all that being said, when you ask them about slavery, slavery is an institution. It wasn't just an experience that just happened and just went away. You created an atmosphere that caused my children not to eat, that caused black children for generations to suffer through pain and anguish because you chose to. We chose to. America chose to. So what I say today is this. I am not expecting any handout or blessing from anybody but God. What we're going to read about is our people wanting to get the blessing that they were supposed to take, but it was too little too late. But America clearly has to understand that there's nothing monetarily you can give me for the pain and suffering that you gave me. There's no money that you can compensate me with. The only thing left is blood. That's why Egypt went through what Egypt went through. And then we spoiled them. But what are you going to get for all the lives that you took? There's no monetary value on that. What they don't understand, as Uziel talked this morning and talked about the peculiar treasure of Israel, Israelite blood is not cheap. And it's a very dangerous thing to play with the children of God. The Most High God loves His people. Even though we don't do right all the time, He loves us. But when we see the value in loving one another, we can go forward. When we see the value in loving one another. Because right now, all of us, we're agents. We do the white man's bidding in every way, shape, or form. The likelihood is that I won't be killed by a cracker. The likelihood is I'll be killed by one of my own. That's a shame. That's a shame when you look at the level and extent of oppression we went through in this country. It's a shame. About to say something. It's a shame. It's a shame. But this is a bigger crime. Those of us who have knowledge of ourselves, who know better so we can teach better and do better by our own kind. We are in a constant feud over power, struggling over who's the best, who's better, whose name is going to ring out. That's what we care about. We don't care about God's people. For years, I've argued about a few things. We have a dietary law that's beautiful. God gave us one. We don't have a store. We don't have a restaurant. We don't even got a bodega. We've had. But we have to begin to sustain it.
Yes.
Not, that's Cohen Levy's thing. That's this person's thing. Either we're going to survive together or we're going to die apart. Cooperation is not optional. It's mandatory. As I'm reading about the Bar Kokhba revolt and how we fought against Rome, we rocked Rome.
Amen.
We rocked them. And Rome was the greatest military might to ever exist on this planet. I don't think nobody, even with the technology now, was better than Rome. We rocked them. We rocked them a few times. But the problem is we could not sustain because we were separated. One school thought, it ain't time to fight right now. One school thought, yeah, we can fight them and we can beat them.
Right.
That's a problem. That's a problem. It's not a problem to be in one place and have different opinions. That's okay. But it's a problem when you're in one place and you got different directions. That's a problem. It's a problem when you're one people with 1,000,005 agendas. That's a problem. You have to get yourself right because God is ordering you to get yourself right. What service do you do to children that come in this way of life if you don't prepare nothing for them? If all you inherit is bickering and fighting. See, my attitude is different from a lot of people because I grew up in Israel and I grew up around the worst aspects of seeing people not being able to cooperate and get along. Fighting because of ego, not because of goals. You know what goal is? We need a school. We may differ on the direction that we want to take to get that school, but we know that we need a school. But the fighting over the ego will never make us have a school. Because our ego is more important than the objectives of the nation. And the nation will always come second to people who have their heads so swollen that they really don't care about nothing but themselves. I want to get into the portion, and I want to show how, as a people, we fail, and our forefathers may have failed, but today we can do a better job. Let's go to the portion of Shabbat, Numbers 13:1. Got it?
We're in a portion of Shabbat, which is found in the book of Bamidbar, which is Numbers chapter 13, verse 1. Hallelujah. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Send thou men, that they may spy out the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel.
God said, you send people. You send people, and send who you want to send. Because I told you the land was good. I told you what I promised you already.
Right.
So if you lack faith, you go. If you don't believe me, go and bear witness yourself to see if I'm lying. Tamshi.
Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a prince among them. And Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the commandment of Yahweh. All of them men of whom are heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names. Of the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, the son of Zakur. Of the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, the son of Hori. Of the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, the son of Yefuneh. Of the tribe of Yissaschar, Igal, the son of Yosef. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Nun. Of the tribe of Binyamin, Palti, the son of Raphu. Of the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sobi. Of the tribe of Yosef, namely of the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Susi. Of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gamaliel. Of the tribe of Asher, Setur, the son of Mikael. Of the tribe of Naphtali, Nachbi, the son of Wafsi. And of the tribe of Gad, Getuel, the son of Maki.
All of these men represented the voice of the tribes that they were from. They were like the senators. They were the people that, okay, these guys speak for us. So they are the ones that went out, that were chosen to go out by Moshe to spy out the land. Tamshi.
16. These are the names of the men that Moshe sent to spy out the land. And Moshe called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up here unto the south, and go into the mountains, and see the land what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, and of what is it that they dwell in, whether it is good or bad, and what cities they are that they dwell in, whether in camps or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it is fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not. And be ye of good courage, and bring the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up, and spied out the land from the wilderness of Sin unto Rehob, at the entrance of Hamath. And they went into the south, and came unto Hebron. And Achiman, Shishai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were there. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. And they came unto the valley of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bore it upon a pole between two. They took also of the pomegranates and of the figs. That place was called the valley of Eshcol, because of the cluster which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from spying out the land at the end of 40 days. And they went and came unto Moshe and Aharon, and all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they were told him and said, We came into the land whither thou sent us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Howbeit, the people that dwell in the land are fierce, and the cities are fortified and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. Amalek dwelleth in the land of the south, and the Hittite and the Jebusite, and the Amorite dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanite dwelleth by the sea, and along by the side of the Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people toward Moshe and said, we should go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we.
Now, I want to tell you something that's real weird about this generation of Israelites. You know, our father Abraham was a man of perfect faith before God. You know what faith is? Faith is you don't know. But I'm going to do it anyway. Because God says so. You know, that word faith, we don't really have a translation or literal translation for faith. You know, we name our children things like Emunah and Amina, because that's what interprets as faith. But that's really the understanding that God is with us. It's not really that word that we usually use, that English word faith. But it's to know that God is with us despite what the obstacles are. The Most High God is on our side. Despite what the problems are, the Most High God will have our back. Despite what it is. And this generation, not only were they faithless, they were cowards. You see, part of having faith is having courage. So when God says, be ye of a good courage, it's because he wants you to have the faith that's needed to do the job. And then, go to Proverbs 29:18, bro.
We're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. But he that giveth the law, happy is he.
So when you don't have vision, you're willing to do anything because you don't have faith that the process can work. When I come here every Shabbat, I believe we will accomplish our goals because I see it in the face of my brothers and my sisters. I have no doubt about it. But I don't want naysayers around me. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with people who don't have the heart to know that this is going to work because God is on our side. We have to alleviate those bad aspects. We always have to refine ourselves. We always have to do things better, smarter, more intelligent, and be stronger. But please, I don't need no naysayers around me. Because that energy spreads. That I don't want to do it, I got a problem with this person, energy spreads. And you become the cancer in the nation. You become the person that brings everybody down, running around with your doubt. I don't care, male, female, child, be a soldier, man. Have the confidence that God is going to do right by us if we do right by him. We need that. We don't need people of a split mind and half opinions. We don't need that. Why we come so hard at our brothers and sisters who call themselves Messianic? Because God declared his oneness years ago. He's one. And he never ever said anything out of his mouth that I have a counterpart, cohort, friend, sidekick, nothing of that nature. Matter of fact, the verbs and the words are explicit concerning his oneness. Amen. So when you call yourself Israel, you kind of undermine the fact that you're waking up to the knowledge of yourself, but you're undermining God. It doesn't matter if you know who you are, as long as you know who God is. Because God said there's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger. One Lord. So it don't matter the color of your skin as long as you serve Yah. But you who know who you are, have no idea who the Most High God is. He doesn't have sex with women and produce children. He don't do that. He thinks and it is. He speaks and And it is. You don't got a girlfriend. And if he did get one, it wouldn't be somebody else's woman. A cattle upon 1,000 hills belong to Yah. You think he can't get his own girl? And I say this with love. I love you, brothers and sisters. But please understand, God don't play with us. So if there's two of us, like in the time of the Northern Kingdom, where there were just 7,000 men that didn't bow their knee to Baal, if that's what it is, and that's what it is. But you have to have faith to know that, yes, there's a lot of those brothers and sisters. Yes, that movement is popular. But are they right or are they wrong? Because God is one. And yes, the New Testament is garbage. It is garbage. It wasn't meant to keep a people civilized. It wasn't meant to keep us in balance with one another. There's no laws in the New Testament. It's proverbs and parables. That's what it is. We have law because we live as a society. We have to get along with one another. We have a conversation and exchange. Why are you reading the book after the shekel of the sanctuary? Why? Because a shekel is just a piece of metal. But now you have a standard, a silver standard that you can trade with now. Because our commerce and everything revolved around the temple. And everything revolved around us being the people. We got to understand that this is the real thing. And we can make it real. My Isha asked me, like, well, I don't know why we don't have a school. I said, we had schools and stuff like that before, but this is what you have to have. I said, you have to be able to have sustainable wealth. Because people have to get paid. If a teacher gets a certain amount from the Board of Ed, she should be able to get a certain amount from you. Right? And she deserves that, or he deserves that, because they're educating your children. But you can't educate the people with a job. I mean, you can't feed the people and pay the people with a job. So we go, we have temples and we collect offerings and free will, but that's not how business is done. Because jobs get lost, and jobs and companies are usually run by other people. But when you have wealth, you have businesses, you have a store that the people are committed to going to that store will revolve an economy that can pay other people to do other services in your community. You have to think big and long term. And that even if you start this plan, it may not even happen in your time, but you know you need it. But ourselves, we want to be glorified in our day. We want to see everything happen under our control. Doesn't work that way. And we're going to learn that lesson right now. Because you thought, or our forefathers thought, they were protecting their children by being scared. You got to teach your children how to be strong and fight. That's what's important. It doesn't matter the size. Size don't matter. And it really don't. Especially when you have God on your side. You know how many Roman legions they sent after us to take over Jerusalem? We were rocking them because we were strategic. We did guerrilla warfare. We knew what to do. When David fought, he didn't have a bunch of guys with him. But they knew things like terrain. Like they said, your guys, y'all know how to pop out of pits and jump out of trees. That's the type of thing, the way that David fought. And that's how he won his battles. We don't need to be overglorified. We just have to do our job. And we have to know that God, Yah, is essential in every aspect of our life. We try to approach things with this, our cute smiles, our nice behinds, everything about that. It's about God's power. Because regardless of our intellectual capacity, if his power doesn't condone it or make it right, it's not going to happen. Tell me. Yeah, go back to numbers.
Verse 32. And they spread an evil report of the land, which they had spied out unto the children of Israel. The land through which we have passed to spy it out is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in are men of great stature. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim, And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so were we in their sight as well.
So why was this an evil report? Number one, it wasn't true. The Naphtali has been gone for years. They're not even around no more. Number two, the land was beautiful. They admitted the land was beautiful. But your fear took over. Your fear allowed you to create an evil report, and once that goes out, you know how it is with people. Oh, wow, this is going on. Oh, we can't do it. And then it spreads throughout the whole camp, and everybody's scared. That's why you don't need the naysayer around you. There's the difference between somebody who has an alternate opinion and a naysayer. A naysayer ain't gonna do nothing. A naysayer, person that has an alternate opinion just has an alternate opinion. That's all it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. But the naysayer, they don't want to do anything. Tongue sheet.
Chapter 14, verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried. And the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moshe and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in this wilderness.
So first, you had an evil report. The evil report went to a widespread panic. And now the panic is going to a depression. And the depression is beginning to have a rebellious effect, where they're actually going to try to be up in Moses' face and tell him, why that we had died in the land. You mean you would rather be in Egypt dead than to be in a position to take a good land that the Most High God promised not just you, but your forefathers. Tongue sheet.
Great. And wherefore doth Jehovah bring us unto this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will be a prey. Were it not better for us to return to Egypt?
I want you to remember what they're saying now, because they said it out their mouth. Remember what they're saying now, because words mean something. Watch your mouth. Words mean something, and they're saying these things out of their mouth. Our wives and our little ones will be. Watch your mouth. Tongue sheet.
4. And they said one to another, let us make a captain, and let us return to Egypt.
Who? But you see, people, sometimes, the council may get a little flat because we want to make sure that the direction that people are going towards in representation of DCP is the right direction, because we know that by nature, human beings have agendas. It has nothing to do with, it's not a personal attack. People just have agendas by nature. So you have to filter that out so people have positive direction. That's what leadership is about. But now you have people, because they're afraid and now they're upset, now they're angry. So to the point where they're going to undermine Moses and Aaron and get a captain. I just kind of think, who's going to be the person? Who's going to do that? Like, you're going to get some godless person to lead you back into Egypt? Tongue sheet.
5. Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel.
They knew what was about to go down. Tongue sheet.
And Yehoshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Yefuneh, who were of them that spied out the land, rent their clothes. And they spoke unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to spy it out, it is an exceeding good land. If Jehovah delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it unto us, a land flowing with milk and honey. Only rebel not against Jehovah, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is removed from over them, and Jehovah is with us. Fear them not.
I want you to understand something. When God says don't be afraid, don't be afraid. There's a reason why he's telling you not to be afraid. Brothers and sisters, when I get up and talk, I may say some things that are very inflammatory, and people may not like it. I got a couple of slights at Unity Shabbat. I deal with that. It's just what it is. But your job is to speak the truth. together with 2 out of 12 that stood on the side of God. That means they went against the majority to do what was right. And didn't allow the influence to get upon them. They're not politicians, man. I'm not a politician. Don't ask me to be political. That's not, and there's people that are good at that. I'm not one. There's people that, listen, my cabinet is going to be this person because they know how to do this. They know how to do this. They good with the business, whatever. Everybody, you got to get the people around you that got the strength to do the jobs that you can. But I'm not a political person. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not a certain person around you, and when I'm around you, I'm another guy. Oh, I can be a street guy and an Israelite at the same time. I can do both. But we try. And if you stand in one position, you're too hard, you're too this, you're not flexible, you're not whatever the case may be. I'm trying to be my best. That's all I can do. But do you want people around you that are fake and facade and always wearing a mask? Nah. Especially if they're trying to teach God's word. You don't want that around you. Because I don't want that around me. And so that we clear, that we are clear. You know, we're in this anti-bullying world and stuff like that. And listen, I'm not for bullies. I can't stand bullies. I don't like any type of bully. I don't like bullies inside our nation. I don't like bullies outside our nation. I don't like bullies. And when you try to push and bully me, I push back. You don't like that now is all of a sudden, you should stubborn guy, whatever. No, but don't try to push your weight on me. Because I don't do that to you. And brothers and sisters, this is life. There's always going to be a bad guy, a bully, a boogeyman, a Baba Yaga, John Wick. There's always somebody. There's always somebody. There's always a bad guy. There's always a Lex Luthor to a Superman. There's always a bad guy. God is telling you, don't worry about that. Because what we do when we're afraid, we undermine God's power. Right. Like, no, y'all didn't just see me wipe out Egypt. Y'all didn't see no plagues. And God don't have to brag, but y'all ain't see no plagues. Y'all ain't see that water turn to blood, son. You ain't see that? I did that for you. And that was on an average day. That was an average thing for me. Because God controls the world. So as that's going on in Egypt, you know, there's stuff that happens all over the planet. Y'all remember in Singapore, there was a tidal wave. Wiped out 100,000 people in Singapore. I think it was a shift, you know, when the plate shift. The water gets displaced and the water just goes and does what it does. Don't you know, they noticed that the animals were going to higher ground. The Most High is always doing his work. Animals, elephants, the donkey, everything was just going on higher ground. And they like, and it happened like a day or two before that calamity happened. So the Most High saves who he wants to save. He has mercy upon who he wants to have mercy upon. Nothing can deliver out of his hand. We are clear on that. So as we're here, you know, Israelites, we're going to go through. We're going to have problems, and they're going to tell us we got to vaccinate our children now, and all types of stuff. But we have to learn how to fight. We have to learn how to fight. And everything is not a war with fists and guns. And that brother, Ta-Nehisi Coates, he was intellectually prepared when he went and spoke. And he's ready to talk some more. They're not going to mess with him, though. It's like Malcolm. They didn't want to touch Malcolm. Malcolm would be in interviews and cats be smoking, and they try to like, well, what's your last name? My last name is X. Well, what's your given last name? I don't acknowledge my given last name because it came from slave masters. I mean, he's prepared, and he had his notes here. He couldn't touch him. Couldn't touch him. The only thing you can do with people like that is assassinate them because you can't touch them. You can't touch them. Their intellectual power is too great. King, y'all don't know, King that Martin Luther King, I have a dream, all of that stuff, that was hogwash. When you see King 3 years before he passed away, when you see his speeches, when he talked about, listen, if y'all got money to send people to war, Did not have enough money to put God. He said God's children on their feet. It's a shame that you talk about pulling yourselves up by your bootstraps when we don't got no boots. You can't do nothing with somebody like that. You gotta kill them. Because they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna back down. And you know what? They're gonna produce more just like them. And as we read, I want you to understand something. And when I talked about introspection, what side would you be on today? And don't start talking about, yeah, I'll be Caleb and Joshua. Because it was only them two out of a whole camp. Out of a whole camp. Most of us would have sided with our friends and our family. Most of us would have been upset with Moshe like everybody else was. That's why we have to learn to stand our ground in righteousness. I'm not saying be in your own world. But I'm saying if something is right, you stick by what's right. Don't let nobody convince you about, oh, you know, we need to have peace and we need to have this. We need to be fair and we need to be just first. Then we can have all the peace you want in the world.
That's right. That's going to breathe peace.
It's automatic. That's why the Most High God said it. Justice shall you pursue. Because you can't have peace without it. Tom Shoe.
10. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones.
All the congregation, didn't say some of them. The whole congregation, everybody wanted to kill Moses. And I love that man. He's not alive today in physical form, but he's alive today in us. Because he's our Father. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be shown why I love him so much. And it's not because he's the character throughout this whole book, but there's a special reason why the Most High God calls him his servant. Tamshi.
When the glory of Yahweh appeared in the tent of meeting unto all the children of
You mean the
Israel.
Most High had to come down to stop these fools from killing Moses? For real? Without people that are stupid.
That's right.
Tamshi.
11. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, how long?
Right.
How long will this people despise me?
Right.
And how long will they not believe in me? For all the signs which I have wrought among them, I will smite them with pestilence and destroy them, and I will make a greater nation and mightier of they for thee.
Because it ain't about Moshe. You know, there's people, and I'm nobody, but there's just people that hate you because you live a way of life that they don't. There's people that hate you because you're consistent with your Shabbat. You're consistent with wearing your zizis. You're consistent with the way you eat. And they always, why you don't do this? Why you don't do that? Why you don't hang out on a Friday night? Why you don't? Because I'm not like you. I'm different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. If men and men can kiss, I can serve God. If they can do that, then I can wear my ZZO. If you could come to the job with purple hair on, this is nothing. It's a small thing. And yeah, this is me, man. I come to on Fridays, it's dress down day. I be coming with the keep on and the tone it on. I be doing that. I like some shock value sometimes. Because when I have the suit and tie on, it's cool. But this is me too. This is me for you, and this is me for me. I represent something bigger than myself. Bigger than myself. So now, a lot of times the problem is not the person, not the physical person. See, they can't get to God. They can't spit in God's face. They can't tear God down. So the next best thing is Moshe. You know, I can touch him. You know, at least I can rip his garment off or something. I can do something to Moshe. Because they're mad at God. Because God, that's why he said that. They despise me. You guys are my representatives. I'm the king. They're really trying to get at me. So they think by killing Moses, they saying something to the Most High God.
Right. Okay.
So God comes down and it says, how long? And I ask you, Israel, how long? How long you want to let the pettiness stop you from progress?
All right.
How long you want to let the backbiting keep you from achieving the goals that you need, and not only you need for yourself, you need for your children and your children's children. You know what the Jews do? I'm not saying Jews, but like Hasidic groups and certain other groups. You know, they clearly understand the impact of supporting their own people when it comes to business.
Yes.
So they don't go out of that business circle for anything. Right? It'll be a long time. You know, they come down neighborhoods for certain things. They come to sleep with our women. They come to buy weed. Because, you know, we got good weed. You know, they come around to speak and do stuff that they're not supposed to do around us.
Right.
But for business and support and loan and to do good business and to buy food and do, it's within the community. Because that's what you do to sustain yourself.
Yes.
And the community is not perfect. They got a high level of female abuse, high level of children being sexually abused.
Yes.
They have a lot of problems going on. But you know what? They still believe in being a community.
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
They still believe in being a community. They're not going to fight and destroy and break up because their ego is big. They know that the bigger picture is if we don't take care of ourselves, somebody's going to take control of us.
Yes.
And let me tell you about an opportunity dollar. An opportunity dollar is this. The reason why they need black people to sustain the poverty is because they make money from that. So there's a vested interest in keeping black people poor. You ever saw that, I don't know if I talked about it here before, there was a thing called Cosmic Slop, and it was a series that came on HBO. The Hudlin brothers did it. And one of the shows, they had Robbie Guillaume, who played some type of senator or whatever the case may be. And there was aliens that came down and offered the United States to give up all of the melanated people of a certain kind, right? Give them to us and we'll give you natural resources. So they were actually weighing on whether they should do this and that, whether they should give all the black people up, whatever the case may be. So what Robert Guillaume did, he was supposed to be like a sellout. What he did was he gathered up the beer companies and all of the derogatory stuff that black people support so that they can fight for the rights of black people, because if they didn't make that money from black people, they would go broke.
Right.
So what the opportunity cost is this. You know that Koreans have their own businesses and they support each other.
Yeah.
But the extra money comes from the people that you see in our neighborhoods,
Right.
on the block, getting money from us.
Right.
For every dollar we don't make for ourselves, somebody makes outside of our community. So if we don't start to make money within our community, that's how we're in a situation where we are sustaining poverty. Now there's a difference. Black people have money, but we don't have wealth.
That's right.
It's a big difference. When you see people, they walk around and they got a nice white, you know what I'm saying, Bugatti, and they pulling out. They got a white mink on, a white fur. They looking nice. They got $500, $100,000 in the bank, $1 million in the bank. They're doing good. But they don't have anything happening to sustain wealth. That's why the majority of the athletes go broke by the time they retire. That's why the majority of the rappers have millions of dollars cross their hands and go broke by the time they retire. Because they don't have the science of what business is supposed to be.
Right.
And nobody's teaching them. They have the money, but they don't know how to build that wealth.
That's right.
And there's some that are trying to do it, but it's not enough. What they're telling you, and what Ta-Nehisi Coates is trying to tell you, is that they have generational wealth. Meaning that the money that was built on slavery, your forefathers, is still in circulation right now because it was inherited. They just transformed the money.
Yes.
Lehman Brothers was an insurance company that they first insured slave boats. Slave boats. That's how they made their money.
Yeah.
And they just folded during the last crisis. Hundreds of years worth of money in dollars going back and forth, either through slave trade, if they own land, and they did cotton on that land, they did tobacco on that land. Some of these companies like Dole that we buy every day, Del Monte that we buy, you know how far they go back with a different name?
Way back. Way back.
Selling your forefathers for profit. All of it. But it's not our time to wait for them to give us something because, as I said before, there's nothing you can give us.
Right.
But we will get our piece of the pie. And I will smite them with the pestilence and destroy them, and I will make thee a nation greater and mightier than thee. Tamshi.
13. And Moshe said unto Jehovah, when the Egyptians shall hear, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them, they will say to the inhabitants of the land who have heard that thou, Yehovah, art in the midst of this people, insomuch as thou, Yehovah, art seen face to face, and thy cloud standeth over them. And thou goest before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now, if thou wilt kill this people as one man, then the nations which have heard of the fame of thee will speak, saying, because Jehovah was not able to bring his people into the land, which he swore unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I pray thee, let the power of Jehovah be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, Jehovah is slow to anger, and plenteous in loving kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the third and the fourth generation. Pardon, I pray thee, the iniquity of this people, according to thy greatness of thy loving kindness, and according as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt, even until now.
Let me tell you something. It makes me cry. This man is great.
That's right.
This man is great
Man.
because he spoke up for people that tried to kill him.
That's right. Talk about that.
And that's the love that he has for God's people. Despite how they deal with him,
Right.
despite the evil that they did towards him,
Right.
he advocated for them.
Man.
And you know what? He was the perfect person for the job.
That's
Did
right.
y'all just read those words?
Yes.
Did y'all see what he said?
Yes.
Words have meaning to it.
Yes.
And if that's not love, I don't know what is.
Uh-huh.
You know, you ever had something happen and your father wanted to brush your behind and your mother come between like,
Yeah.
no.
Hold
Let me
on.
talk to him.
Yeah.
Let me know. You better do something with that boy. You better do something with that boy. You better do something with that girl. And they give that pass. That's called mercy.
Right.
Right? Mercy being I have the power to do a certain thing, but I choose to forego that process.
That's mercy.
That's mercy.
Uh-huh.
Mercy is not I can punch you in the face, but I bully you instead. That's not mercy. I'm going to talk about you instead. That's not mercy. I got the power to do a certain act, and I forego it. And, we read about, and we're brought up, being taught about JC being the intercessor.
Right.
The guy in between us and God, so that God forgives us of our sin.
Talk about
Foolishness.
it. Talk about it.
And let me tell you, this is the reason why that's followed.
Right.
The reason why that's followed. Because you take away the impact of a man who actually did that job.
Right. Right. There you go. Right.
He actually did that job.
Right. Right.
He was actually amongst the people.
Right.
He actually looked out for us because he knew we were sick in the head. Let me tell you something. Slavery ain't no joke of any kind. It ain't no joke. The majority of us are going through problems now because we have never healed from slavery. We have taken all of the garbage that we learned, the learned behavior, and the things that were done to us, and we actually started to practice it in our own neighborhoods. That's why I have to fight certain things. And it's not a hatred of people, it's a hatred of the practice and the mentality that they have. That I'm better than you, so I can do things to you that's not right. I don't care who you are, I don't care what your last name is. I don't care if your last name is Ben Jesse. I don't care if that's your last name. You do right by God's people.
Right.
Imagine if Moshe would have said, you know what, y'all? I'll take that offer. And you know what? He wouldn't have been wrong because it was offered to him, right?
Right.
It was given to him. It was on the floor.
That's right.
I'll take that then.
That's right.
Right.
But you know, a man like him don't even think like that. And that's why that's what the meekness was.
Right.
You know, it wasn't him walking around quiet. That's the meekness. The meekness is in the character. The meekness is, he is a man that thinks more about other people than he thinks about himself.
Yes, sir.
And that's what that's what makes the people go further.
Right. Okay.
Take the page out there.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to cast our pride aside and just do God's.
Okay. You need that. Word. You need that.
Absolutely.
And you know what? It ain't gonna hurt you.
Get out all.
Right.
Right. True.
I'm sick of people talking about humility. They don't have a humble dog in their body. Can't teach people what you don't have and what you don't practice.
Right.
Right.
If I need to learn it, I need to learn it. I need to learn it. In these years, I've been going through this thing with myself for years. Listen, I've been around people that the first thing they know is retaliation. The first thing they know is sticking out their chest. The first thing they know is aggression. That's what we learn. Yeah, teach me how to use my mind. Because we gotta heal. And there's a better way that I can teach you something and still be your brother at the end of the day instead of offending you and losing you forever.
Amen. All right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So that's why when I talk about JC, I know how to talk. Listen, let me tell you something that happened to me the other day. Not to be long. I'm in Chuck E. Cheese with my kids. They running around playing. I go to the bathroom. Not Chuck E. Cheese. Dave and Buster's. And I go to the bathroom, and the brother greets me, right? And then the first thing he starts to do was to criticize me. I'm like, is this for real? But I'm saying, I see the ZZs that you got, but those are not cool, with the ones you gotta have the ones with the border around it and stuff like that, whatever. So I go, listen, now he's trying to humble himself. I hear that from people, I hear that people do different things different ways, I got it. So then he began to go into this whole thing about, what's happening and the world is going to end and the world is upside down, the map is different and whatever the case may be, and start to get into all this stuff. So my new thing, when I was a young guy, I challenged you on everything, but that's the way we were taught to do things.
Right.
And I kept saying to him, qualify what you're saying.
Right.
He couldn't stand that.
Right. That's how it always works. That's how it always works.
That's an intellectual conversation.
Yes.
A person with intelligence is saying something, a person that doesn't have it
Correct.
doesn't know how to rebut.
Right.
Qualifying. You're like, what you saying? I said, okay, you have to prove to me that it's in here before you tell me. Right? Because you're just telling me stuff that you just don't, I don't know if somebody taught it to you or you're throwing it out of your head.
Right.
But if you qualify it, then I'll be more keen to believe what you're saying than you just telling me out of thin air because I studied the book and that's not in there.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, I see you one of those, da 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 da. I said, listen, I have no choice but to be, because we don't. This is our common ground. I kind of let them. This is our common ground, right? If I make something up, then I won't be believable. If you make something up, then I can't believe you. But if you have it and it's in here, then we have a common ground. That means that we can start having a conversation because maybe it's there, but I never saw it that way. Or maybe it's there, but it's your interpretation. But if you're throwing things out of thin air and you want me to believe it, you got the wrong young chief now. I'm not just gonna go for that. Like, you're gonna tell me a story. I'm too old.
Right. Days is over.
But they get upset.
Yeah.
They get upset. And what we have to do is we don't have to attack, to teach.
That's right.
That's right. Say that again.
Teach me.
Come on.
Word me that.
We can teach, and we can teach strong, and we can teach with love.
Yes.
When we went up to Rockland County, we had that, you know, we had Jews in the room, and we didn't spare them a bit. But we went, y'all the devil, y'all wicked, y'all are traitors, y'all are liars, and we the true Israelites. Ah! But we broke it down so nice that they was up coming to us and thank you and they wanted to know more, and I see that you have the blue and whatever, and because a lot of them just don't know. You can see the troublemakers in the crowd, but then the people, they wanted to know more. And then there was a sister that was a Christian. She said, you know, I believe in Jesus, you know, and you know, I said, listen, don't think that we're coming to attack. I said, your faith was inherited, right? Your mother taught it to you. So to go against it just because I'm up here talking, you know, what does it look like if you go home and all of a sudden you change? And I said, it doesn't work that way. But what I'm telling you to do is study. Right. But you see, honey, flies,
Yeah.
whole thing,
It's true.
it works.
All right. That's right.
Right? We can be strong and still temper our attitude at the same time. And then people can understand what you're saying and not be attracted to aggression, but be attracted to intellectual capacity that can convince other people that what you're doing is right.
Yes.
That's why the Egyptians, I don't debate Egyptians because they don't never have anything for me. The last time I debated Egyptians, this is what they tell me, you know, and it was a nice conversation. They said, you know, the Ten Commandments, a lot of these principles that are in that book that were written after the negative confessions and what have you and all of this stuff. I said, so I'm gonna just let you know, God is not linear, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not like, you know, he gave man wisdom, right? Who wrote it down first and all of that stuff? If you're caught up in all of that those type of things, then you really don't have an understanding of what God is, right? God blessed man with wisdom, right? So as you read principles in the Tanakh that the Chinese have and that other cultures have. And they say the one principle that you have throughout the whole planet is love thy neighbor as thyself. That is a rule in every culture on this planet.
Universal law.
It's a universal law. Where did that come from? That means that there had to be a common origin to the understanding of humankind.
That's right.
True.
Where did that understanding come
Come
from?
on.
This is a good point.
Right.
Our God is great,
Right.
but he ain't working with fools. And he ain't working with hateful people either. He's working with those that want to do his will. Moshe wanted to do his will. And I thank God for that man.
Amen.
I thank God for that man. I thank God that he was chosen. I thank God that the Most High saw him when he made all things. He pointed that guy out in a paradigm of time to say, this is the God that's going to free my people. Because, you know, he had the right words to say. I'm just thinking about, like, if I was in a situation, what would I say? Because you got to know yourself. These dudes just tried to murk me.
Right. Sounds like.
And I got to be like, you know, they just tried to murk me. They tried to stone me and my brother. Automatic. So you Levites, take a picture out there. This is how you minister before God.
Yeah.
That's why you say them prayers, you pray for the people, lean back.
That's right.
Because we need help. We ain't doing too good. We sick.
Yeah.
We're traumatized.
Yeah.
And we went through all of that without no healing. Without no restitution. Without anything. Some of us are still in church praising the white God. That's how sick we still are. They'll come in your church and shoot you up. And you still go back. Still praising them.
Right.
Because you don't want to lose faith in what you committed yourself to for so long. And I get it. But give y'all a chance.
Right.
Don't you?
20. And Jehovah said, I have pardoned you according to thy word.
Torah, yeah.
Yeah.
but in very deed,
Right.
as I live.
Uh-huh.
And all the earth shall be filled with the glory of Yahweh.
Amen.
Surely all those men that have seen my glory and my signs, which I have wrought in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have put me to proof these 10 times,
10 times.
and have not hearkened to my voice.
Right.
Surely they shall not see the land which I swore unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that despise me see it. But my servant Caleb,
Uh-huh.
because he had another spirit within him, and have followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it.
Let me tell you something about having a right energy.
Right.
That's why I talk about the naysayers. And you look at Caleb. Who knows if Caleb felt that in his heart, whether we could win the battle or not? But he was a man that he wasn't concerned. He said, let's go up and do this.
Right.
I'm ready right now.
Right.
If we win or lose, because some people just don't want to stand still.
That's right.
Listen, I ain't standing still. I ain't wasting my 40 days
Right.
looking at that.
Right.
And I'm backing out. I know that. That's not, everybody's not that style. And sometimes you have to stand in the place of right regardless of who's saying what.
Right.
So you got everybody. You got 2 out of 12. And then you got to remember this. He represented Judah.
Right.
Yes.
But the congregation of Judah still rebelled as well. Everybody, the whole congregation wanted to stone Moshe.
Right.
So his people that he represented didn't respect him in that decision.
Capacity.
Right.
Yes.
But he stood strong anyway.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you have to be the lone voice
Right.
Come on.
when it comes to righteousness.
Get that.
And let the chips fall where they may.
Amen. Come on.
Go for it.
Let them fall.
Yeah.
Man, you just a difficult brother.
Right.
And
All that.
I ain't trying to be.
Right.
This is the matter. This is what's right. And then correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But Caleb had a different spirit. He had a different energy about him. Brothers and sisters, there's nothing wrong with opting for God.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And there's people that are going to manipulate you.
Yeah.
They're going to make it seem like you going against what they say is like going against what the majority say and what God has to say.
Yeah.
And they're going to start aligning themselves with God.
Right.
And making it seem in subtle ways that their decision is God's decision.
Right.
That's nothing for us. That's not the truth at all. I'm sorry.
Right.
About to go in. It's not the truth.
Furthest from the truth.
That's the furthest thing from the actual truth.
Right.
What God said is what God said.
Right.
And if you can prove otherwise, then you have a point. But never does God change his word, his mind, or his opinion on anything.
Amen.
It's firm. That's why we call him the attorney.
Yeah.
Because what he says is forever.
Wow.
And it doesn't come back void.
Come on.
What you twist and turn to manipulate the people, that's your doing.
Right.
That's not God's word.
Who unto you?
So Caleb, because he had another spirit with him and he followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Tamshi.
25. Now the Amalekite and the Canaanite dwelt in the vale. Tomorrow turn ye and get ye into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe and unto Aharon, saying, How long shall I bear this evil congregation that keep murmuring against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they keep murmuring against me. Say unto them, As I live, saith Yahweh, surely as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do unto you.
So I want you to understand, I talked about, last time I spoke about the omnipresence of the Most High God and you being present. They think that because they go in the tent and close the tent door, that God don't know what they're saying.
Right.
We think that.
Right.
Right.
Don't you know there's people that will talk about you And they'll see you on a Shabbat on another day and be like, Shalom, Chief, this is such and such and such. I know that energy. We are one man's family. Do you understand that? We are cousins. Because you may not hate my guts, but we are still family. Even in this day and time, what I'm telling you is, a lot of us come from places like Barbados, and Barbados, they are relatives to people in North Carolina and South Carolina, because you know they're right there, right? They speak Gullah and Geechee and all that good stuff, and you go to certain places, they sound the same. And my brother wrote it, they sound the same. And Cuba's right next to Jamaica and all these places, and all of us came from the same parts of Africa. And you can trace all of that region getting flooded with a certain group of people at a certain time. We are all one man's family.
Amen. Teach that.
Your energy.
Right. Okay.
Because you are my brother and my sister. Whether it's good or bad.
Right.
So when you with me and you ain't real, don't need to do that. I sense it because I'm a human being. And then there's those of us that have been around for years. You don't think I know when you acting funny? I've been around you 25 years, 30 years.
Right.
I know when you're dealing with me sideways.
Right.
Somebody's stupid.
Don't take much.
Just learning things.
No doubt.
Learning people, learning life.
No doubt.
Having some sense of emotional intelligence is easy.
Right.
And the Most High will show you. We the ones that think we hide all the time. Jumping at people. We slick and we out doing somebody. You can't do it.
Right.
We share the same DNA. And DNA, outside of your mouth and your mind, DNA has its own conversation.
That's real.
Amen.
Don't you know there's people who are brothers and sisters that they found each other?
Yeah.
They just want, man, we just do this, man, cool. It's cool. We hang out, we cool, whatever. Dudes took a DNA test, found out they were brothers.
Yeah.
There's a way that God set this whole thing up. I'm not telling you I don't understand it. But it's just it's outside of us.
Right.
So please, spread the love. Because we feel the hate.
Right.
You can't hide that. Not from your brother and your sister.
That's real.
You know you got brothers and sisters. You know when they hide something too, right? He got cookies.
Right.
He ain't sharing. Oh, he keeping a secret. Because that's your brother.
You know. Right.
That's the learned behavior. You know his patterns.
That's real.
Listen, I come up here all the time. I don't be here blowing up people's spot. You know, there's people that think they try to manipulate me, right? And they think I don't know that they're trying to do that. They be like, oh yeah, I do what I can do because I feel like I do what's right.
Right.
But don't think it's because of your mind power that you getting napped and do something for you. You know,
Right.
it's not that.
Yes, sir.
And some people think that they're just so smart. Don't work that way. I know you because you're me.
Right.
I know the game before you play it, Paul.
Yeah.
Because we the same people.
That's right.
You know, oh, listen, every trick that's ever been done has already been done. Ain't nothing gonna change.
That's right.
Ain't nothing new. Tamshi, let's finish this out.
Beginning again in 28. Say unto them, as I live, saith Yahweh, surely, if ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do unto you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness.
No.
And all that were numbered of you according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, ye that have murmured against me, surely ye will not come into the land concerning which I lifted up my hand, that I would make you to dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Yehoshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, that ye said would be a prey, will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness.
Right.
And your children shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and you shall bear your strings until your carcasses are consumed in this wilderness. After the number of days in which ye spied out the land, even 40 days. Every day for a year shall ye bear your iniquity, even 40 years, and ye shall know my displeasure.
Right.
I, Yahweh, have spoken. Surely will I do unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me in this wilderness, that they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, and whom when they returned made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up the evil report against the land, even those men that did bring up an evil report of the land died by the plague before Yahweh.
Right now.
But Yehoshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Yefuneh, remained alive of all those men that went to spy out the land. And Moshe went and told those words unto the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and got them up to the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we are here, and we will go up to the place which Yahweh hath promised, for we have sinned.
I want to talk about this. I don't want to call it bipolar, but you see how we do?
Reactionary.
It's very reactionary. You spit in the face of God by rejecting the land and accusing them of trying to kill you, and when we should have died in Egypt, we won't get a captain, we're going to go back to Egypt like God didn't do nothing for you.
Right.
You talk about how, you know, our kids and our wives, we put them in jeopardy and all this type of stuff. And then you say this out your mouth, you reject it.
Right.
So God said, okay, you don't want to go back, you don't want to go into this land that I promise you, you're going to die here.
That's right.
And you deserve it.
That's right.
Because you asked for it.
Right.
Going back to Egypt.
We ain't going back. That's right.
Nobody's going back to Egypt.
And nobody going back.
I love it. It's over. Right. That's real.
And then you said, what we would have died in Egypt. You should have just died and just gave up the ghost in Egypt. And like all of what God did was for naught.
Right.
So now you get this punishment.
So now.
And then you start mourning. What are you mourning for?
Right.
What you mad for, son?
Right.
Son, why you mad?
Right.
What are you mad about? You asked for it. Your man saw it. So it don't mean jack to me.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
Check it out.
Check it out. Grand poetry.
You asked for
Yes,
it.
sir.
No, you literally asked for it.
Yes.
You said, no, we're not going up. They're too strong. We can't defeat them. They're going to kill us.
Right.
Can't take that back.
So you're more afraid of God. God who controls elements.
Right.
God who you saw bring frogs and lice and kill the firstborn in Egypt than guys
Right.
who were I told you what the Canaanites did. Homosexuals and transvestite priests and all types of crazy stuff that they practice. You're more scared of the God of all things on earth and in this universe. You're more scared of them than the creator of heaven and earth.
Yeah.
You're more scared of people who are weak just by their moral standards. So when Caleb saw things with a different eye, he's not looking at size. These guys is weak. They're not strong. We got God on our sides. We can rock them.
Right.
And Israelites think that, but listen, Israelites are some crazy people. Samson was crazy. I don't care. He's a Danite. He's crazy. He was crazy. He did, listen, I'm going to go marry a Philistine, and I'm just going to cause trouble.
All by myself.
All by myself. I don't got no posse. I don't got no crew. I'm going to just rock out.
Let's do it.
I ain't care about nothing.
That's right.
David has some of that in him too. David has some of that in him. Listen, he's the only person coming in. Everybody else, this dude is big. He's a warrior. This dude is coming in fresh off the shepherd field. Fresh. Delivering cheese and bread. Yeah. No worrying stuff. This dude talking about living God's army and and you see his brother telling him, yo, you slow down, we're in the front line, and you just coming here talking like you tough.
No armor.
Yeah.
Come on.
But we like that.
Right.
Right.
And sometimes God gives us that spirit where we ain't seeing nothing.
Right. Not at all.
But listen, this is what it is. He's a big dog. I've slayed big dogs before. He's finished. I got him.
Got it. Right.
That's it.
Great attitude.
But Yah will give us that spirit. So I just say that about Paul because now it's too little too late.
Right.
And we want to go up.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's nothing you can do to fix it.
Right.
You just have to get that punishment happening and let it rock.
Right.
Oh, you know, that was then, and you know what I'm saying, we wasn't thinking right or whatever the case may be. You said these things out your mouth.
Right.
And you need to be held accountable for the things that you say out your mouth.
Right.
So you can't, oh, we ready now. You ready now because you don't want that punishment that God just gave you.
Right.
You ready now because you really found out that you lied when you talked about the land was no good and that you can't take the inheritance.
Yes, sir.
Now you're ready.
Right.
You ever been in class and you did something wrong, or somebody did something wrong, and they had to stand in the corner, and all the class is getting rewarded, and it's ice cream time, and it's playtime, and all that stuff, but you still in that corner. Yeah, in detention, because when you thought about doing what you did wrong, and you did what you did wrong, you didn't think about the fun time that everybody else was having, and that you were going to miss out. And the hard part is that you're isolated from it. If everybody else is in detention too, it's just cool.
Right.
Because everybody else is in the same boat. But when everybody else is playing and having fun, and you hear all that revelry and joy, and you gotta stand in the corner like a fool because you did something wrong, that's not a good feeling. Yeah. Your mother goes, oh, everybody else is having ice cream. You're not even having dinner.
Think about that.
Think about this. You have to think about some things.
Right.
You go in the corner, you just contemplate that for a second.
Yeah.
But this is us. And you know, we try to make up. I'm sorry, I'll do it better. Too late. Too late. Tumshi.
41. And Moshe said, wherefore now do ye transgress with the commandment of Yahweh, seeing it shall not prosper?
Still not listening. Tumshi.
Go not up. Go not up. For Yahweh is not among you, that ye not be smitten down before your enemies. For the Amalekite and the Canaanite are before you, and ye shall fall by the sword. For as much as ye are turned back from following Yahweh, and Yahweh will not be with you. But they presume to go up to the top of the mountain. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and Moshe departed not out of the camp.
Disrespect your mama and you asking for money.
Right.
Me? Money what? The money? Don't go up. No, you can't go to the store because you don't got no money. Mom, you got money? No. You disrespecting me. You must have another mother out here somewhere that you get something from.
Right.
But it ain't coming from me the way you talking to me right now.
Right.
So now they going up like, God tell them, don't go because I ain't with you. You need to let the source of your victories come from me. And you'll understand that right now but don't go up because I'm warning you. I am not with you.
Right.
They are going to rock you.
Take that. Right.
Don't go.
Right.
We just rebellious to the nines, huh?
Right.
Some shit.
45. Then the Amalekite and the Canaanite who dwelt in the hill country came down and smote them and beat them down even unto Hormah. Chapter 15, verse 1. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And Jehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye are come into the land of your habitations which I give unto you, and make an offering by fire unto Yahweh, a burnt offering or sacrifice in fulfillment of a vow clearly uttered, or as a free will offering or in your appointed seasons, to make a sweet savor unto Yahweh of the herd or of the flock. Then shall he that bringeth his offering present unto Yahweh a meal offering of a 10th part of an ephah of fine flour mingled with the 4th part of a hin of oil, and wine for the drink offering, and the fourth part of a hin shalt thou prepare with thy burnt offering, or for the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram, thou shalt prepare a meal offering, 2/10 parts of an ephah of fine flour, mingled with the 3rd part of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering, thou shalt present the 3rd part of a hin of wine, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And when thou preparest a bullock for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice in fulfillment of a vow clearly uttered, or for peace offerings unto Yahweh, Then shall there be presented with the bullock a meal offering of 3/10 parts of an ephah of fine flour, mingled with the half of a hin of oil. And thou shalt present for the drink offering a half of a hin of wine, for an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Jehovah. Thus shall it be done for each bullock, or for each ram, or for each of the he lambs, or for the kids. According to the number that ye may prepare, so shall ye do for everyone according to their number. All that are homeborn shall do these things after this manner, in presenting an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Jehovah. And if any stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever may be among you, throughout your generations, that ye will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Jehovah as ye do, so shall he do. As for the congregation, there shall be one statute for both you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. As ye are, so shall the stranger be before Jehovah. One law and one ordinance shall be for both of you, for the stranger that for sojourneth with you.
Let me just do a quick recap so that you know these laws do not pertain to that evil generation that we're just speaking about.
Right.
This is for those that are going into the land.
Right.
So he's talking to that generation that will be able to survive and go into the land, because this is what you are going to offer when you come into the land that you're inheriting. They're not inheriting anything. They're going to die in the wilderness. One law and ordinance shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you.
Right.
Now, I like to give this to our Jewish counterparts, because they have a lot of racist elements in their culture.
That's right.
And I wanted to know, what do you think about this? Because God says one law. That means there's no color prejudice. There's no short, tall prejudice. There's no blonde hair prejudice. That means if you're an alien from Mars and you want to come to serve God, we have to allow you to serve God, and there's one law for you and me.
That's right.
Don't change.
Right.
Can't answer that. So am I still a Cushi? Am I still a Goy?
Boy.
Am I still this? Am I still that? Am I still a N-word to you? And this is what this Judeo-Christian society don't understand. You read this law and this principle, but you still practice your prejudice.
That's right.
That's a problem.
That's right.
That means you are a hypocrite standing. You have no true understanding or the value of what God is trying to give to the world. So I don't look at it as weird that you don't reveal God's story to people.
Right.
Because it's not your job. You don't have the heart for it. You don't have the DNA for it.
That's right.
You see Moses? He prayed for people that tried to kill him. That means you got to have a heart to do things like that.
That's right.
You know, he was even the one that was going to Pharaoh, trying to give Pharaoh a chance. Listen, Pharaoh, you ain't going to win.
Right, bro.
Just bow out, man. Just,
Right there.
but God hardens Pharaoh's heart, etc., etc.
Right.
Tell me,
17. And Jehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land whither I bring you, then it shall be that when ye eat of the bread of the land, you shall set apart a portion for a gift unto Jehovah. Of the first of your dough shall ye set apart a cake for a gift. As that which is set apart of the threshing floor, so shall ye set it apart. Of the first of your dough ye shall give it unto Jehovah, a portion for a gift throughout your generations.
So in this day and time, you know, there's a kiddush that they practice, and you have the kala, which is part of this set aside. They practice this now because we can't do sacrifice. We don't burn anything, right? So those are things that we do, or that some cultures do. The Jews may do it. Israelites may do it in memorial of the fact that you're saying, listen, I'm glad that you blessed me this week. I'm glad I got a place to stay. I'm glad I got these things. This is just part of my practice that I do to show the appreciation to the Most High God. Because that's what this is for. This is the fact that God gave us land. God gave us fruit. He gave us things. And we're giving that good part up to Him in appreciation of what He gave us, or have given us. So that's what people do when they practice that kiddush and give up the kala and, you know, do the drink offering. Tamshi.
22. And when ye shall err, and not observe all these commandments which Jehovah hath spoken unto Moshe, even
Mistake. Bishgaga. Not presumption. Tamshi.
even all that Jehovah hath commanded you by the hand of Moshe, from the day that Jehovah gave commandment and onward throughout your generations. Then it shall be, if it be done in error by the congregation, it shall be hid from their eyes, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto Yahweh with the meal offering thereof and the drink offering thereof, according to the ordinance. And 1 he-goat for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel. And they shall be forgiven, for it was an error. And they have brought their offering, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their error. And all the congregation of the children of Israel shall be forgiven. And the stranger that sojourneth among them, for in respect of all the people it was done in error. If one person sin through error, then he shall offer a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for the soul that erreth, when he sinneth through error, before Yahweh, to make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. Both he that is homeborn among the children of Israel, and the stranger that sojourneth among them. You shall have one law for him that doeth aught in error. But the soul that doeth aught with a high hand, whether he be homeborn or a stranger, the same blasphemeth Yahweh, that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he hath despised the word of Yahweh, and he has broken his commandment. That soul shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him.
So, just a point.
Right.
If we are not supposed to have prejudice against the stranger that comes to dwell with us and live with us, why are we doing it amongst each other?
There you go.
That's why we don't go further than we need to go.
That's right.
And this, I'm talking about the people of God.
That's right.
Not the person that comes to join themselves amongst us. I'm talking about God's children.
Amen.
Yaakov seed.
Right.
Tamshi.
32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moshe and unto Aaron.
It just seems
and
like
to the
words. Go ahead. Where's some words? Tamshi.
And they put him in ward, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes throughout their generations.
Nah,
fringes
it just says, speak unto the men.
in the corners of their garments, and that
Read
they,
that part again, bro. Does it say speak unto the men?
hold on, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes throughout their generation. Fringes.
The women don't count the children of Israel.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
It says that? It does?
Talk about it. Okay, I see where you going.
Where is these?
That's right. Man and woman.
Where is these? Because you're commanded to. It's your commandment by God. Don't put it anywhere you like to put it. You can make it fashionable, but it's not about fashion. It's about obedience to the Most High God's word. You see, it's something that had to be implemented to hold Israelites accountable, because we just think that we can do what we want to do. That guy that was picking up sticks, you know, everybody around you's keeping a Shabbat. And you the only guy picking up sticks. Deliberate.
Right. Got you.
So now, so that you have no excuses, and you know the ZZ is not about you. The ZZ is about your brother and your sister who has it on. So that they can look upon you. So when I see you, I am reminded to keep God's word.
Okay.
Because most people in the day, you don't look down. You know how many times I look at this to see that it's here? Only in the morning when I put it on. But if I'm around in the community, who sees it? It's like being in the crib neighborhood. You know when you're home, when you see all that blue. But those, your brothers and sisters are the ones that are going to remind you to keep God's word. Tamshi.
38. Speak unto the children of Israel,
Everybody.
and bid them that they make them throughout their generations fringes in the corners of their garments, and that they put with the fringe of each corner a thread of blue.
So I venture to say that it's not a ribbon going around your garment, because it said put in their garments that they put with the fringe of each corner. Each corner.
Right.
As opposed to something going around a border in your garment. Touch it.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yahweh and do them, and that ye go not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go astray, that they may remember to do my commandments. And be holy unto your God. I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yahweh your God.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hope you got something out of what was brought forth. Put out your heart for life. Put out your heart for all things and everything. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Thank you the Most High God for our brother Chief Naphtali been done. And I'm glad that the Most High God put the spirit upon him to come up and teach God's people the way that he, we come from a school of a lot of fire. That's where we come from. So that's the kind of understanding and the kind of teaching we come from. I thank the Most High God for everyone, our brothers and sisters. Glad to see my sister Dara in the building. And her men that she got with her now. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to know people that hold on, that stay strong. A lot of time, women, when their husbands is not around anymore, they just kind of like they fade out, But this sister, I seen her. Y'all was little when y'all father passed on. And your mother held on. And y'all this age now. So you have a duty to carry your father's legacy. Because your father was a good man. Samuel. Adon Samuel, the short time that I knew him, humble brother who was always in servitude to the Most High God. And y'all bear his name. And y'all carry his seed. So there is no if, ands, or buts about it. This is what you have to do because this is what he desired for y'all to do. And y'all have to be example, the older for the younger, and so forth and so on, because your mother held on. And your mother's here strong as a woman of Yah. So you doing anything besides that is going totally against what your father would have desired for y'all to do. And what your mother will desire for you to do. So you guys have to be strong. Hold on to Torah and carry it because that's what your father would have desired. Don't follow the trends and don't follow what everyone else is doing. And I commend all of our women that hold on. I seen sister like Tracy with them two girls. When I remember when I seen their father die on the street, and she was just she was about a year or two into Lord. One in the stomach when one just born. And that sister held on to this day. That's a blessing. I commend people like that. Sisters like Magdiel, stay strong. Raise their children up to praise Yah. I commend that. That's right. I don't commend them hard heads that you get angry with a man, you take his children away from him, then you got his children in church. I don't respect that. God won't come see you. Because you took that man's children back to blindness. I don't respect that. I hope a truck hit you so you can get his kids back. I'm being straight up. You taking children back to Christianity, to falsehood, I hope a truck hit you. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to get reprimanded. Somebody going to say something to me. That's how I feel. I'm keeping it real. I'm not talking about mothers who, all right, separation happens. I'm not talking about a mother that is doing Torah. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't work out, but she don't take the children back to darkness. I'm talking about you, wicked, evil one, that you know better. You know what that man raised up them children and what you were supposed to be raising them up into. And then you go and teach them children falsehood. You got them eating pork. You got them eating shrimps. You got them doing all of that. What does the book say about that person? I'm not saying I'm going to put my hands in. I said, I hope a truck hit you. That's all I said. So blessed be the Most High King. I know I'm going to get a phone call. I'm going to get pulled over. Somebody's going to tell me something. Chief, that's too harsh. Maybe you shouldn't say it like that. That's the way I feel. Because I don't like to see no brother go through that. I don't like to see, I wouldn't want to see no sister go through that. So I'm thankful to this great King. Hallelujah. Let us rise and let us face the east. Let's sing a song. Let's sing Baruch Hashem. Since we got some drummers here. I think we got some drummers here. Here's the outside. Remember, we got some drummers. Baruch Hashem. Let us all sing together. Let him sing. Man, let the man do what he's doing, man. That man been part of the band for about 4 weeks in a row. You ain't? Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem. spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron unto his son, saying, On this wise he shall bless the children of Israel. Say unto them, Remember that car your whole you spend that car. Ya'el your whole when I will let car we connect car. Yisai your whole when I will let car we are sent my car. Shalom. May your whole bless thee, keep thee. May your whole make his face to shine upon thee, be gracious unto thee. May your whole lift up his countenance upon thee and make him grant thee peace. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. We will return at 6:45. 7 o'clock, make it a straight 7. The day, this is like the longest day of the year. You know, so the longest daylight day of the year. I think that's how you say it. But Te'avon, may the Most High God bless us all. And remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Hallelujah.